So we're going to look at what was the Anti-Federalist position at the Constitutional Convention. And hopefully by the time you hear this, we find out who won the election in the United States. So where and how did Americans debate the Constitution? That was a big question. So we all took a tour in the Philadelphia Convention, and we know that the debate began in Philadelphia in 1787. A week before the convention ended, though, Virginia's George Mason wrote a list of objections of the draft of the Constitution. The ratification, it didn't seem like this ratification of the Constitution would happen immediately. It was really up in the air. When they released the draft, opposition or opponents against the Constitution started to emerge. And across, the colonies, newspapers and pamphlets were produced, such as the Anti-Federalist Papers and the Federalist Papers. Ratification debates, they took place largely in these pages of these newspapers and pamphlets. Because remember, we did not have Twitter, and we could not get information and news just like that. So Anti-Federalists, they objected. So when you see the word anti, that means against. The Anti-Federalists were against the ratification of the Constitution at first. So they opened discussion by stating their objections to the Constitution. Many wrote in a fake name, all right? So they did not want to be seen. They didn't want to, tell people who exactly they were because they were against the Constitution. But they published these writings in these pamphlets in newspapers we were talking about, and they published their criticisms of the Constitution. And ordinary Americans ended up reading these and discussed these arguments in coffee houses, taverns, and just in the public anywhere. But like many Federalists, Anti-Federalists did agree on a couple things. First of all, they believed in republicanism. That means the ideas that include the concept that the greatest governing power in a republic should be placed in the hands of a legislature or representatives that we elect. All right, let me say that again. So like many Federalists, Anti-Federalists believed in republicanism, and this idea concluded the concept that the greatest governing power in a republic should be placed in the hands of representatives that are elected by us and chosen by us. So, Anti-Federalists, they were worried about a couple things, all right? They loved the idea of having these small communities in ruling, kind of, having a hands-off approach from a strong national government. They worried about a large nation, all right? They worried that a large, diverse nation cannot sustain a republic, and that a single national government would impose uniform rules over these small territories. Also, a large territory, they were worried about, it would be difficult with many citizens living far away from a capital to watch over the activities of our government, all right? They wanted to have a say in our government. So they were frightened about the strong national government, which we have looked at immensely from, the British rule and King George III. How we saw how strong of a national government they had with imposing all these taxes, busting down the doors and having us quarter troops. So this is what the Anti-Federalists were worried about. So today's assignment, I'm going to show you what to do.